Inside the Kremlin command room, Putin nods, and Russia fires its nuclear triad. A Yars missile from the Arctic, a sineva from the Barents Sea, bombers overhead. Moscow calls it routine, but NATO was already running its own nuclear drill over Europe. Two superpowers practicing for a war they insist they don't want. President Vladimir Putin personally oversees a full-scale test of Russia's nuclear triad, on land, sea and air. From the command center inside the Kremlin, on October 22nd, the Russian leader gives a calm but deliberate nod. Moments later, a land-based Yars intercontinental ballistic missile blasts skyward from the Plesetsk Cosmodrome, lighting up the Arctic sky. Thousands of kilometers away, beneath the waves of the Barents Sea, a sineva ballistic missile launches from a nuclear submarine, one of Russia's most powerful sea-based weapons. And above the clouds, strategic bombers fire nuclear-capable cruise missiles, completing the triad's display. The message? Russia's nuclear deterrent, the largest on Earth, is alive, active, and ready.
Today we are conducting a planned training session on the management of nuclear forces. As the defense minister has just said, let us begin. Please let me give the floor to the Chief of the General Staff of the Russian Armed Forces, Gerasim Valerian Vasilyevich.
According to the Kremlin, the exercise tested the readiness of command structures and the practical skills of operational personnel in controlling nuclear forces. The Kremlin further said that all exercise tasks were completed and the drill was routine, but the timing suggests otherwise. Because this wasn't just another test. It came as NATO conducted its own nuclear drills, just across the European skies. The parallel timing wasn't coincidence, it was communication.
The exercise tested the level of preparedness of the military command and the practical skills of the operational personnel in organizing the control of subordinate forces.
For Moscow, this was about deterrence, a reminder to the West that Russia remains a nuclear superpower, even as it battles sanctions, isolation, and the grinding war in Ukraine. But for NATO, it was about reassurance, ensuring its members believe in the alliance's credibility and capability to respond. A Dutch F-35 jet screams off the runway, joining a formation of more than 70 aircraft from 14 NATO countries. It's part of Steadtfast Noon, the alliance's biggest nuclear exercise of the year. Unlike Russia's test, NATO's drill uses no live weapons. But make no mistake, the symbolism is immense. Involving over 2,000 personnel, this exercise rehearses how the alliance would respond if deterrence ever failed. For the first time, NATO allowed journalists to witness part of the operation. The move marks a shift toward transparency, an effort to show Western publics what their militaries are preparing for.
We've long not talked about this, but it's certainly time that we talked to our public about it. This is not saber-rattling, this is about demonstrating the full range of capabilities that the alliance has. This is not saber-rattling, this is about consistently performing our mission and going out and demonstrating the full range of capabilities that the alliance has.
From Belgium to Denmark, Britain to the Netherlands, fighter jets and bombers simulate nuclear missions across the North Sea, far from Russian or Ukrainian airspace, but close enough to make Moscow notice. The exercise comes at a moment of heightened security. NATO airbases across Europe are on alert after a wave of drone incursions, some blamed on Russia. Commanders say defences have been tightened, but the mission continues unchanged. The 2025 drill, centred on the North Sea, is designed not to provoke, but to project stability. Still, the optics are unmistakable. Both NATO and Russia are conducting nuclear operations within the same fortnight, each citing routine training, but both reminding the other of what's at stake. As missiles fly and jets roar, diplomacy falters. Plans for a long-awaited meeting between Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov and US Secretary of State Marco Rubio in Budapest have collapsed.
There are no agreements on this matter. Therefore, I am warning in advance all those who may start writing again that something has been cancelled. Do not do this.
Moscow insists no meeting was ever formally arranged, calling reports of a postponement an information farce. But behind the scenes, it marks another setback for fragile US-Russia diplomacy, once again derailed by mistrust. Meanwhile, in Washington, the White House has reversed course, saying President Donald Trump no longer plans to meet Vladimir Putin in the immediate future.
I don't want to have a wasted meeting, so I'll see what happens.
Just days earlier, Trump had spoken of a pretty quick peace summit to end the war in Ukraine. Now that optimism has evaporated. The reason? Kremlin hesitation. Putin, according to US officials, wasn't ready to commit to concrete steps toward a ceasefire. That reluctance plays into a familiar pattern, a diplomatic dance where Trump teases breakthroughs only for Putin to pull back. As a result, Ukraine remains trapped between promises and postponements. President Volodymyr Zelensky, fresh from a tense meeting in Washington, has reportedly told European allies that Trump pressured him to consider ceding territory, effectively giving Russia what it wants. European leaders, alarmed, issued a joint statement rejecting any territorial concessions.
Russia's stalling tactics have shown time and time again that Ukraine is the only party serious about peace. We can all see that Putin continues to choose violence and destruction.
In Moscow, Lavrov made Russia's stance clear. No ceasefire until a full peace deal is agreed, a condition designed to prolong the war.
If we just stop, it means forgetting the root causes of this conflict, which the American administration clearly understood and voiced upon Trump's assumption of power.
For now, a summit remains under preparation, Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said, but with no date set.
The dates of Putin-Trump summit in Budapest, actually, they have not been determined. They have yet to be determined. But before that, careful preparation is necessary. It takes time. Again, there are no news about this. It is clear that there is a lot of misinformation, gossip, and rumor swirling around. Mostly this is false. So, there are no news yet.
As the week ends, the images are stark. A Yars missile streaking through the Arctic sky. A Dutch F-35 slicing over the North Sea. A cancelled summit between Washington and Moscow. Each is a snapshot of a world teetering between deterrence and danger.